Hi there, welcome to the Color Timer B-roll. I have a little podcast called the Color Timer, and there's a bunch of interviews that just didn't quite fit into that framework. So this is kind of a new series that I'm going to have on the side, my B-roll. And my first guest... Lucky you, Alex. Mr. Alex Williams from Louper, founder and CEO. Welcome.
Thanks, Vincent. It's nice to see you again, and it's nice to be on B-roll.
B-roll. Yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm an editor, so it's not great. I mean, I'd rather be, opening credits or something. But okay.
Yeah, but
fine. It's all right.
Sometimes that's important.
It's better than cutting room floor, so I'll take
that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a name. Now, I have interviewed you already on the Color Timer podcast, and so for those of you out there who would like to, you can reference that through the mixinglight.com website. You can track it down. But I wanted to chat to you again, Alex, because Louper have released something pretty interesting. But before we go there, do you want to just give me an overview of what Louper is?
Yeah. So I'll tell you where we started, and I'll tell you where we're at now with the new release and the reason why we're talking to each other. So we started out as a real-time collaboration platform for post-production professionals, and the idea was that you would be able to stream out of your timeline if you're an editor, or your grading project if you're a colorist, or your Pro Tools or DAW session if you're a sound mixer or re-recorder. And you'd be able to then invite other people into your Louper room, which runs in the web browser, and have real-time over-the-shoulder collaboration on in-progress post-production work. It was very much, and still is, the idea of bringing people together as if they're working in person, but obviously remotely, and doing it in a way where it felt like, at least from an editor's perspective, which is what I spent many years doing, like I was actually working with a director or a producer or an agency exec on this project together. We weren't just sending stuff back and forth asynchronously, but we were actually working on it together in real time. And so that's the product. That's where we've come from, but we're expanding.
Now I've used Louper previously as a colorist, where I'm grading real time. People jump into Louper, they can see the grade real time, and it works amazingly. And I'm definitely a fanboy. But now in this new release, you've got something really cool happening. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So V2 is a combination of quite a lot of work and listening to what people wanted and people have been asking for. And so there's a few things going on. There's timestamped comments on uploaded assets. There's our move into asset storage and file upload, so offering decent amounts of storage and enabling people to upload their content to there and then send out links, review links or presentation links or whatever to clients to, hey, you post cuts or post work in progress stuff for them to review in their own time. So that's sort of an asynchronous side of things. And then the other thing is native plugins for NLEs like Premiere Pro. We've got one coming out soon for Avid Media Composer. So a panel that sits inside Premiere Pro where you can click Start Streaming. It'll output your timeline real time directly from inside Premiere Pro. We're building that for Avid Media Composer. We'll probably build it for Final Cut Pro, After Effects, and possibly Resolve if we figure it out. So those are the things. The main thing really is timestamped comments, and then being able to post comments on uploaded assets together in a room in real time. And so yeah, sure, it's nice to have review links and upload content to Louper and collaborate asynchronously. But we found the real power of it is when you can actually post comments together and watch files together in real time. And from a high level, the idea is that you could now use Louper previously only for real-time collaboration. You'd have to use another platform, of which there are many, for your file uploads and posting cuts and that sort of stuff. what we've tried to do with V2 is to make Louper an all-in-one platform. So if you want to collaborate synchronously or asynchronously, if you want to upload media, if you want to send links out to clients or teammates, you can do all of that directly inside Louper.
And just so I understand this correctly, at the moment, I grade real time. Folks jump into Louper, they see it. Are you saying that that would still be happening, but then if they wanted to, in addition to that, they can then put comments when they see things at a certain...
So not quite. So what you do currently isn't changing. The live stream real-time session will still take place as it always has done. What you can do now is upload files. So say you've got... and the use cases for this is beyond just sort of making changes, right? You could have... A director could upload stuff for their treatment pieces, or if they're pitching on a job, invite people into the room and look through their work. So you could go, hey, we've got, here's some work I've done previously, let's watch it together, I'll present it, I'll talk through it. And watch that sort of content together. But then also, from an editorial perspective, which is where I come from, right, you could go, here's the latest edit. I've got 2 versions. I don't necessarily want to do a real-time session. I don't want to make changes real-time. But I've worked all day. This is where I got to. Instead of me sending out a review link to you that you might watch in your own time and not have any context around, I could invite you into the room. We could watch the uploaded cuts, and then we could decide what the comments or feedback actually are for that cut. So you can go and post comments on uploaded content.
Right. And then if, I'm so selfish because I'm bringing it back to me again. But so let's say I do my session. I do my live session in Louper. And then I go, great, guys. I think I know where we're at. I go off. I do my thing. I do my grade. And then I render out my color grade and upload it into Louper V2. And then send them a link to that, and then they can then jump in and they can go, oh yeah, I see what you mean. They leave their comments, which then I can obviously look at. But then if I want to, and I can address them, and then I could potentially say, hey, that's all great. I've done most of them. There's a couple of things I want to talk through, and so then we could all go back into that uploaded V2 and go through that. Is that how?
Exactly, yeah. So you'd be in your room, and you could go and when I'll screen share in a moment and actually show you. So you've got context,
that would be great.
You could go, let's go. I've addressed these ones, but I've got questions around these 4 comments. Let's hop into a room. We can look at the comments. We can actually watch the file together, and we can discuss it and debate those comments and try and get some clarity around what's being said. And
then if we did that and we discussed the comments and could I then jump back into a live grade session?
You could do that in that same session. So you can switch the source is. You could go, hey, let's look at the file, and now let's go back, and now let's look at my live grade.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's really cool.
There's as we've been building it, there are so many possibilities and so many use cases that it's been interesting to see how people think about using it, because it's so flexible, and there isn't really anything else out there like it. There's no other platform that's doing it.
There's not.
That's offering everything we do in one package. I'd love to show you if
that would be fantastic if you can. Let's see if it works. Cool. Let's see if the screen share thing works. It does honestly sound so bloody perfect, and what you're talking about having to use other platforms, that's what I'm continually doing, and I just feel like I'm doubling up, and it'd be so nice to have everything in the same world. Oh, there we go. Got the screen share.
Yeah, exactly, and that's been a big driver for us. It's like, well, we don't want people to have to use 2 or 3 or 4 different tools to for ultimately what is collaborating with clients and teammates. Just do it in one place, and then it's much more cohesive. You're not losing context. You're not switching tools all the time.
Yeah.
So right up here we've got the Louper room, which Vincent, as a Louper user for a long time, you'll be pretty familiar with. So that looks and behaves pretty much like it always has done, right? You've got video conferencing, you've got different layouts, which is also part of V2. So we've introduced different video layouts, and there's sort of a conferencing layout if you just want to have a chat. There's the film strip along the top layout, and then there's the layout down the left. So everyone appears in the room as a video chat participant. And now we're watching the same content at the same time. So traditionally, you'd have a live stream, right? Which I will actually show you real quick over here. This is our new plugin for Adobe Premiere Pro.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a
wow,
start
look at that, man. That looks so
panel.
cool.
You can start streaming, and that'll grab your output from here and stream it directly into your Louper room. So there's no other steps to follow. It's install the plugin, and you're good to go. And so that's obviously been the concept of streaming live and over-the-shoulder review has been what Loop has been all about since day one. But this is where things are new and pretty interesting. So I'll pull up that file I had open earlier. So we can, we're now in a session. You're looking at my live stream. You're looking at my Premiere Pro interface. We've got real-time review going on. But then I can go, hey, here is a file that we want to look at. This might be an export of this cut I've done previously, or it could be another project that we want to discuss. Along the bottom, I can see that there are some comments in this file already. I can hit play. We're now all seeing this file together. It's all synchronized. And I can go ahead and click on a comment, and I can see there's some drawings, and I can see the
look at that.
text. So, like you get with a bunch of other platforms out there, timestamp comments, that's a very standard thing with asynchronous collaboration. What we've done with V2 is to make that synchronous and collaborative, so that we are actually looking at and posting comments together. So the one way we've used it extensively as we were building it is for our internal product marketing videos, particularly for motion graphic stuff. We'd have our motion graphics artist export the latest version of what they're working on. We'd bring it into a Louper room. We'd watch it, we'd discuss it, and then we'd post comments. There'd be 3 or 4 of us in the review, and we'd actually post comments that we had consensus on. Like, there wasn't going to be any Tatiana said that, Divan said that, Alex watched it 4 hours later and said that, and none of them agree with each other. We could actually, all of us get into a Louper room.
That never happens.
Well, yeah, right. Debate it and then post the comments that we all actually agree on. So it's about getting consensus a lot faster. And so, yeah, that is the crux of it. There's more in V2. That's really the crux of it. It's timestamp comments, reviewing assets inside your room. And I can do this all within the same session. So when I have to jump to another session or anything, I've got other files in here. There's audio support for audio files as well now. So here's a WAV audio file.
Yeah.
We've got image support as well. So here's like a JPEG file that we uploaded. Again, you can comment on these files as well. So there's a comment on this particular image. And then at any point, we can switch back to my live stream, which will be coming in from...
Oh, so quick. That's so
from
cool.
Premiere Pro, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of is what Loop has always done, is the real-time thing. So there's a lot of possibilities here, right, in terms of how you want to use it. You could use a Louper room just for live streaming. You could use a Louper room just to review files. You could do a combination, which, like you said, Vincent, is quite interesting, right? You could potentially upload the most recent pass you did on a grade, watch it, let people post their comments, and then hop into a live session and then, switch back to the uploaded version you did earlier, to sort of A/B or reference stuff or look at comments and then go back to your live stream.
My brain's spinning because there's so many possibilities. Like something that happens all the time in a session is even though you ask people to send you references in advance, sometimes during the session they go, yeah, it's like I've got this really great reference, and you go, oh, can you send it to me? But that'd be great if they can upload that, and then you can watch it together.
And there's screen sharing as well now, which is not really a V2 feature, but is pretty new as well. So anyone can start screen sharing. So that's another thing, right? If you want someone wants to pull up some reference material super quickly, you can just screen share like you could in a typical video conferencing application.
That is what I'll do for everyone as well is at the end I'll link to because the trailer that you guys have put together for V2 is really good. Like, whoever's put that together has done such a sensational job. But I'll tack that to the end of this interview so people can watch it at the end.
Yeah. Do you mind if I just super quick go through the rest of the dashboard?
Gosh, no, please do.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'd love that.
If you want to cut it out, cut it out.
No.
So rooms are now live stream rooms. So in there, that's what I just showed you, right? You can do live streams, video files, audio, images, and then presentation rooms are a new kind of room. They're the same as live stream rooms, but they only contain files. So this is useful if you just want to, hey, I'm going to create a presentation room with files. Hey, I've got files from, let's have a look, product spotlight videos, Louper 2.0, right? Let's look at this file, and this file. I'll go next. I'll give my room a name, Vincent Review, and I'll click OK. So now I'm done. I've got a new room now, which is a presentation room, which has got these files in it. When I go into it, those files I selected will appear over here. I can share that link with anyone. And so in speaking to customers, a lot of them are saying this is great, particularly for ad agency types where you don't necessarily want to be in the session as such, but you want to allow them to go and look at it together. So there's a lot of ways it can be used. So that's new. That's presentation rooms, which just contain uploaded assets. And then file spaces have received like a whole makeover. So you've got kind of a file spaces. The idea is you create one file space per project. You upload your assets into a file space. You've got folders and subfolders within file spaces, just like a normal file or folder tree. Files are in here, and then from here as well, you'll notice at the top there's review links and showcases over there, which are also on the left. So I've got files uploaded. I can right-click these, I can create a presentation room, which I've showed you. I can also create a review link or a showcase. So I can create a review link, just go done. It's super quick. I can open that link. I can share this with clients. And all they get now is a review link with these files in it. They can go and look at these at any point. The comments show up. They can post their own comments, much like you can with a lot of other platforms out there. Except you can do it all in Louper now. Mm-hmm. And then finally, the showcases is another feature. So the idea behind showcases is that it's sort of for presenting work you don't necessarily want to get feedback on, but you want to send something that looks nice to your client, potentially deliverables at the end of a project. Or to create a show reel of sorts, right? Here's some work, I'm pitching on a job, here's some of my comedy work that I've done previously. And so you create a showcase, there's different options for themes and how you want that showcase to look. You can enable downloads on these files as well. Again, you can go select the files, you can add or remove files, change the order that the files appear in, hit create, and you've got a showcase. So you can open that up, again, share this with clients, whoever you want to view this, and they just get like a view-only link. Here's my stuff. You can't post comments, but you can watch it, you can download it.
That's great.
And so that's kind of all of that together constitutes V2. So trying to make it a platform where everyone is using Louper or a real-time solution is definitely also using an asynchronous solution like Frame.io or Media Silo. And with V2, what we're trying to do is to go, you don't need 2 different tools or 3 different tools. You need one, and Louper does it all.
With, the idea of anything new, because people they go, I don't know, I'm just used to this. I just want to use this. Will there be support and, I don't want to use the word training because that's a bit heavy-handed, but will there be some kind of assistance if I say to a client, hey, this is the way I want to do it. It's better. Here's a link. It'll talk you through how to use it.
Yeah, so we've already got that. So our doc site is updated frequently, but then we also have a new YouTube channel where we've created all sorts of super quick tutorial videos, which are aimed not only at actual users using the platform and paying for accounts, but also for clients to be able to view. So hey, we've always tried to build stuff that's super intuitive, so that it doesn't really need explaining. Yeah. But we already have, that was part of what we built, is this whole video library around. If you need to know how to use something, there's almost definitely already a quick explainer video for it.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, Louper is very user friendly. I'm not a very technical colorist, and I find it very, very straightforward to kind of get into that and walk my way through it. That's amazing. I guess the other question is, I'm a subscriber to Louper. Do clients that I'm bringing on board, do they have to subscribe to Louper, or how do they access it?
That's nothing there really changes in terms of external access or client access. So if you want to create a review link, you can send that review link to people or the showcase to people. They can click the link and look at it straight away. There's no sort of gating there or prevention of them using it. Obviously, if you wanted to upload files, then yeah, you can only do that through a Louper account and actually manage stuff and create review links. But in terms of, like you currently do, right, for your clients to send them a link to your Louper room for real-time review, you'd send them a link to the review link or a showcase or the presentation room, and they'd access it the same way.
Got it. And you mentioned in there as well that potentially even use it for delivering files.
Yeah, and so that was the showcases feature I showed you, where here's my final version. I'm going to deliver, create a showcase, allow downloads on that showcase, and people get a link. They can see the thumbnails, they can preview the files, and they can click download, and they're good to go.
That's amazing. That sounds really, really cool. I was already a fan, but now I'm just kind of... That's amazing. Is there anything that... Have you started getting feedback already from folks?
Yeah, we have. Particularly from people working short form advertising type work in particular. And the one thing that's really interesting, which we hadn't really considered, and I touched on it earlier, was the idea that you could sort of create a presentation room. Here's 3 versions of the cut. I've been working all day. Maybe we had a Louper session this morning, a live session. It's the end of the day. I want to send you the 3 versions I've got of this cut, for example. You guys are busy or whatever it might be. We haven't got time to do a meeting now. Maybe we'll do a meeting tomorrow, or I'm logging off for the day. Here are three versions. Create a presentation room, send it to people, and you might be sending it to 2 or 3 creatives who are working on this project from an ad agency perspective. They can then use that presentation room and look at stuff together without you even needing to be in the room, without you needing to actually host that session. That was something we hadn't really considered, and I think that from the feedback we've got and the way people have been using it, that's really powerful. Allowing your clients to collaborate with each other without you having to actually look after them.
I think that's huge, actually, because that does happen a lot where there'll be feedback on an existing platform that I'm using, and then the other person they're kind of doubling up. Whereas if they can both be jumping in there at the same time and having a proper meeting and a proper conversation about it, that's huge.
Yeah, totally. And that was always the issue I had with asynchronous only workflows, and I think I spoke about it last time we spoke, is that it's totally disjointed, and it's not the way I was brought up as an editor in the industry. And it was like, let's discuss it together right now, not I'll post my comments and then you post your comments and then we'll have conflicting comments, and it's just crazy. Why don't we actually just talk about it? So that's really what it all boils down to. It's let's talk about it.
Yeah. That's really fantastic. A silly question, but is there any way that users can put their own branding, like for those presentations, like in the background?
Yeah. So
like
branding for rooms is available it's an upgrade option within our pricing tiers, and then branding for showcases and review links is imminent. It'll follow in the next couple
Fantastic.
of weeks.
Well, it sounds awesome. It sounds really amazing. Okay, well, I'm gonna, as I said, for everyone out there, I'm gonna put a little post at the end of this, just linking to the trailer for Louper V2. But Alex, thank you so much. Thank you for talking me through it and telling everyone about it. It sounds brilliant.
Thanks, Vincent. Yeah, it's been a lot of work and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm very keen to see how people respond to it.
I think they'll respond really well. And thanks for being on my first B-roll edition of the
honor.
Colour rather than on the cutting room floor. That's much better.
Yeah. That's for the next one.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Vincent. Talk to you later.
All right. Well, for those of you who are out there, this is going to, be the new channel. Please, like, subscribe to all that usual stuff that we're all programmed to do. My 6-year-old even says like and subscribe to things now. But please do, because it's going to help the channel. You can still link back to the other stuff on the Mixing Light website for all the Color Timer podcast work. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you on the next one.